Bill Belichick should never, ever, under any circumstances, be an NFL head coach again. Not in 2024, not in 2025, not in the year 3000, assuming he's become one of those Futurama heads in a jar. Look, the dude is a legendary head coach with a long list of accolades that may never be matched again, at least not in my lifetime. He deserves all of the plaudits he gets. Give Belichick his flowers. He's also steered the New England Patriots ship into the proverbial iceberg, leaving nothing but a wreckage slowly sinking into the bottom of the NFL ocean. What has Belichick done in the past 3 years to lead anyone to believe he is a good NFL head coach at this very moment in time? 5 years ago, yeah, sure, hire the guy on the spot, but today, absolutely not. The Patriot Way has become the 4-6 defense or the wing T formation, just a relic of football's past that doesn't work anymore. You know, maybe if this was just a one-off blip when it came to the Patriots, you could excuse this and think about giving Belichick another shot. But the past 3 years, it has just been a huge decline with no positive signs. There's no silver lining when you look at what Belichick has done, and in particular the last 2 seasons. Giving Belichick another bite at the apple, giving him another job in the NFL, simply harkens back to one of the NFL's worst trends, and one that had seemingly been eradicated, at least for the most part. That trend, of course, being retread head coaching hires. For whatever reason, NFL franchises could not stop themselves from hiring a head coach because they had been a head coach somewhere else. In most cases, they had experienced a little bit of success, but still came with massive amounts of baggage and ultimately a lot of losses as well. We're talking about your John Foxes, Chuck Knoxes, Rex Ryans, and Jeff Fishers. That last one didn't have an X in the name, and it really kind of bothers me, but I'll move past it. The issue with the majority of these retread coaching hires is that even if they had a little success, which was never guaranteed, by the way, it wasn't sustainable success, and they just ended up getting fired again down the road. I know, none of these guys had Belichick's pedigree. None of these guys had the track record and the Super Bowl trophies that Belichick had. But what they all have in common was a period of decline on their resumes. Even if it is slightly unfair to lump Belichick in with this cast of misfit coaching hires, the argument usually boils down to something along the lines of, well, a change of scenery can rejuvenate a head coach. It can make them see things differently or just bring a different type of energy than they had at their previous job. Even in the examples that could be assumed as positive, it's not like it was a rousing success, though. Especially when that involves the level of control and oversight of football operations that Belichick has become accustomed to. You're not hiring just a head coach. You're hiring a guy who wants to have a say on every last aspect, the minutia of how an organization builds its roster. Even if the Tiger is changing its stripes and accept maybe something different than what had been done before, do you really believe him? This is Bill Belichick. This is a guy who seems pretty, I don't want to say dead set in his ways, because as a coach, you've seen him be flexible and adopt different things. But there's this definite idea that Belichick has on what he would like to see a football team operate under. I mean, that is the quintessential Patriot way, is it not? One misnomer out there that I think does need to be discredited is the idea Belichick is too old to be an NFL head coach. I don't buy that for a second, because we know the lifespan of an NFL head coach isn't a hell of a long time. Even if Belichick's only on the job for 2, 3, 4 years, that's really the most common NFL coaching tenure. It's not like there are all of these coaching having these long, storied careers at one job. You know, normally they come in, they're there for a few years, and then they leave. So to hear front offices or to hear media reporting front offices or a little scared about his age, that doesn't make any sense to me. The biggest issue I have with all of this talk about Bill Belichick and should he coach again, should he not coach again, so on and so forth, is the idea out there that he deserves to go out on his own terms. What? Is this not the National Football League, the ultimate results-based business where nostalgia and friendships, they do not matter. All that matters is the business of it, and that, of course, is winning football games. Most players, regardless of how good they were, Hall of Famers, All-Pros, Pro Bowlers, and even down to the 52nd man on the roster, will rarely, if ever, get to go out on their terms. Hell, Adrian Peterson is probably still sitting by his phone waiting for an NFL team to give him that one last chance to suit up again. A head football coach should be no different regardless of how successful that person was. Was being the key word here. Bill Belichick was successful. Now, I don't think anyone's saying he's a particularly successful or winning head coach. That's because he's probably too stubborn for his own good and a little too out of touch with the game today in 2024. Belichick also seems wildly unable to assemble even a remotely competent offensive staff in this day and age. That is a huge problem, of course. You have to score points to win games, something the New England Patriots were painfully unable to do. There will always be those out there who say it's going to be different though. Belichick will have learned from this and he'll grow from it. And yet, it's the NFL. No one really grows and learns. They like to say that, but mostly you are who you are when it comes to professional football. Bill Belichick is who he is, and that is why he should never be an NFL head coach again. It may sound harsh, it may sound cold, but that is what the NFL is all about. What can you do for me? And what Bill Belichick can do for a franchise, well, it doesn't look like he can help them win football games, regardless of what he did in the 2000s and the 2010s. Instead of focusing on the past and what was, franchises with head coaching vacancies would be better off focusing on guys who can come in and build their own legacies and their own version of the Patriot Way suited for today's times. Thank you for watching this video. If you'd like to know a little bit more about why that 2013 Washington coaching staff that gets talked about nonstop wasn't exactly all it was cracked up to be, check out the video in the upper right hand corner of your screen. Until next time, I'm Cheyenne Hollis. This is the Touchback, and as always, hashtag take it out to the 25.